Hey guys!
Welcome to Monday.
So welcome back to Fruity Footprints. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that is very close to home for both of us.
It's how to support yourself in an unsupportive family.
This is going to be geared towards mainly people that are living away from home, because there can be a completely separate video made about living at home with your parents and dealing with your friends and family there.
So we just want to give you guys a couple different tips so that you can come home and visit with your family and friends and not leave super frustrated.
Cassidy and I both know very well what it's like to come home, and trying to explain that new choice to your family and friends is really difficult. So a lot of people won't support you right away, and they might even make it a little bit harder for you. So we want to give you these tips to help you have a better experience when explaining that new choice to your friends and family.
So the first tip is to seriously educate yourself.
As a new vegan, when you first talk to your friends and family about the new choice you've made, the first thing that they're going to present you with is a ton of bullshit information that they have believed over the years or been taught to believe over the years. You're going to be presented with a lot of questions, mostly pertaining to where do you get your protein? You know, just random questions that people have been taught to believe their entire lives that they need meat and dairy products to survive or be healthy. As Cassidy said, the first tip is to definitely educate yourself, read books, watch documentaries. We'll list a bunch of suggestions down below, but obviously I'd say the #1 book to read is definitely the 80-10-10 diet. You can also watch movies like Forks Over Knives, Cowspiracy is now a really good one.
And Vegucated is also a really good one. That was the first one I watched. When one of your family members or one of your friends asks you a challenging question, the most important part is to present what you're going to say in a really calm and factual manner. When you present the truth to someone, they might not obviously believe it, but it's really hard to dispute the truth.
You want to make sure that you're saying your information in a very non-confrontational way.
So basically, just try not to use emotional appeal.
Most people that still eat meat generally don't really give a crap about the animals' well-being. Like, I mean, everyone loves animals. They love their dogs and cats. They go to petting zoos and they really enjoy being around the animals. But when it comes to
cows and pigs
and stuff, they see that as food. So
yeah,
using that as like a first point is not really going to be very effective, because that's something that has been so ingrained in our minds through the meat and dairy industries, advertising and all that kind of stuff, that they're kind of very desensitized to that. So if you appeal to them more towards the health-based fact, things like how it reverses heart disease and cancer and obesity, stuff like that, if you hit them with the health information first, they're going to be more susceptible to what you're saying.
Yeah, especially because it has more to do with them. It's the benefit to them instead of just talking about the benefit to something else.
So the second tip we have is,
when you're presenting all this information, you got to keep in the back of your mind that you're not trying to convert them. You're just trying to present your information to help gain their support.
Converting happens way later, you know what I mean? Like, once they have been around you for a while and they start kind of seeing what you're eating and how it's really not like just little bits of celery, things that they think vegans can't eat anything.
Yeah, and how healthy you are when they see the physical changes that are being made and like the glowing skin, that's when the rest of that'll happen.
At the beginning, all you're really doing is trying to gain their acceptance and support for you.
So our third tip is,
when you know that you're going somewhere that the majority of people aren't going to be bringing a lot of vegan dishes or stuff that you can have, make sure to always bring your own food. And if you can't bring your own food, make sure to just eat beforehand so that you're not being pressured by your friends wanting to eat these other foods that you've been trying to stay away from. It'll make it a lot easier to not be influenced by your friends and family when you have eaten beforehand or are bringing your own food.
If anything, we should share our food with everyone else, because then they'll know that vegan food, it tastes good and it's fulfilling and it's everything that they thought it wouldn't be, basically. Just this past Thanksgiving, I brought it was a squash dish. If you've been following us on Twitter, you know that I make this dish like almost every night.
Yeah.
So, but I made a giant thing of it, and I brought it to Thanksgiving, and everyone loved it. They were asking me for the recipe and all that kind of stuff. So like, it was a huge hit, and like people were like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's vegan, that's awesome, kind of thing.
We want other people to be exposed to all the beauties of what vegan food can taste like and do for them, as well as what it can do for others.
Yes.
So the fourth tip that we have is to be confident and happy with your decision. The biggest way to influence people of being accepting towards your decision is to be really confident and happy about that decision. So by setting that example and showing how happy you are in being a vegan, it really helps others to understand the whole vibe that we're kind of going for here.
And how being vegan really affects every aspect of your life, including your personality.
When you are eating good, healthy foods, you're gonna feel amazing. You're gonna feel as amazing as the foods that you're putting into your body. That confidence and that happiness is really gonna show, and people will pick up on that. Your friends and family will be asking you like, wow, like you seem
So much happier.
Yeah. By no means does it come right away, but after you have educated yourself and shared these foods with people and they see your happy, glowing self around, they'll start to realize, hey, like maybe something's going on here. Maybe she's right about something. To go along with the first tip that we gave, being confident in the facts that you've learned and the information that you are sharing with others is also a huge contributor to gaining the support from your friends and family.
So tip number 5 is to not take things personally. When you're presenting all this information and you're having debates with people, you have to remember that you're kind of crushing their entire illusion that they've been believing their entire lives. When they get offended and they say mean things to you or stuff that's not true or whatever, you just have to remember that you are crushing part of the way that they grew up and all that, their cultural beliefs, all that kind of stuff. So you just have to remember that it's not you that they're mad at, it's just that they're upset, you know, because their whole world is kind of crumbling.
You cannot take things too personally because no matter what, they are going to get upset at first. But after a while, after you keep presenting them facts very calmly, like we said in tip number 2, they will start to support you whether or not they agree with you. So to give an example, at our past Thanksgiving, my cousin came up to me and started throwing facts in my face or things that he thought to be true, like, well, what about soap? Isn't soap made out of animal fat? And like, well, plants can feel too. And like, well, other animals eat meat. Like, we're supposed to be omnivores. You know, just ridiculous arguments like that. He was only saying those things because our beliefs were making him question his own. If you can't tell the difference between a plant and an animal, something is seriously wrong with you. Regardless, you just have to be patient with them, and at the end of the conversation, he was actually agreeing with me. So he started out very angry, but the more calmly and factually you present your information, the more accepting that they will become.
You don't have to prove yourself to everyone. It's exhausting, and you should just really tell the difference between something that's worth, you know, really going hard on someone with the facts or just kind of brushing it off because, you know,
it's not going to result in a positive way.
Yeah, exactly. The main thing is to remember that you love your family and friends, and you want to help them. Oh my god! What? Oh.
So hopefully those tips will help you to gain the support of your family and friends. Regardless, even if you have any questions or comments or concerns, always leave them down in the comments below.
And you can also ask us any question anytime on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram and subscribe.
So until next time,
Fruity
footprints! Woo! That was a good one. Just as a side note, we got a new microwave in case you didn't see the incident that happened in our last video, which you can watch right here. I'm sorry, I'm very hungry. Hold on.
Oh my god, hurry up!
Okay. Good job.